Well, we're standing at the Kuyasa Combined Learning Center here in Oudtshoorn, where the Minister will shortly unveil. Let me just step out a shot so you can see. There's the plaque behind those beautiful green curtains, and he will unveil this center. What's special about this center is that it was built brick by brick. Every part of it was built by using offender labor. And now I'm going to ask my colleague Spiwe Ubasi to just show you. He panned there to the classrooms where there are offenders currently in school. They're busy learning as we speak, mathematics, geography, all the major subjects that you will find in any other school. They're busy learning here. And the thing is, they built this center with their bare hands. And that's exactly the crux of this new project that is being launched today, to spread it across the country, where correctional services wants to become self-sufficient in every way. I'm just going to read to you some of the key issues that they want to focus on. They want to minimize operational costs, ensure supply of their own needs, and they reduce the financial burden on the fiscus. As you may know, it costs a lot of money to keep correctional services facilities running, and through this model they want to ensure that each of these correctional facilities can look after itself by what they use through the labor of the offenders themselves, as shown by this facility that was constructed. A little bit earlier, we were also up on the hill, not far from here, about a kilometer or so, where there's a farm where they plant all kinds of produce. We saw the most beautiful vegetables, an array of it, that's also done by hand by the offenders themselves. 12 months ago there was nothing, and right now they are producing something in the range of 25 tons of vegetables that provides fresh produce not only to the Oudtshoorn Correctional Facility but also to correctional facilities across the Karoo. So this is a big project. Minister Ronald Lamola telling us they want to expand on it every year so that they come to a point where each and every correctional facility in the country is self-reliant with everything that they need to ease the burden on the fiscus and on the taxpayer.
Mariska, do we know how long this project has been in the making? Because if handled well, it could really make a big impact.
As you say there, it could make a major impact. It could absolutely change the way that things are run at correctional facilities. We in the Western Cape here know that this project has been running for some time. We know there's 21 farms already across the country where they are producing fruit and vegetables for the past several years. There's 96 smaller projects that includes the vegetable gardens and the like. So it has been running for some time, but I think the idea is to upscale that at an enormous rate to ensure that it is sustainable in itself, and to ensure that correctional facilities can, for lack of a better word, look after itself, so that it doesn't rely on the state to do just that. So as you said, it has great potential to absolutely change the way correctional facilities are run. But just to add another important point of this is the skills that offenders are learning through this will make a difference. We spoke to one a little bit earlier who works in the farming side of things. He said he knew a little bit about growing something, but now he is in charge of growing a fully fledged vegetable gardens, that he even dug up a few of the carrots for us that he was involved in planting there. So there's crucial skills that are learned here, and of course integration into societies when an offender has served their sentence is vital. And if they have skills to offer, if they have something to put on the table, it could just ease that burden for them to be integrated back into society as well.
The Minister also said to you that one of the objectives is to try and scrap the outsourcing of services that can be provided within the system, the correctional services system. Do we know how, especially Western Cape, small businesses feel about this development? Because they will be affected by this.
No, absolutely, of course. And that's why the Minister also said there will be programs and projects run in conjunction with communities, especially for those communities who are suffering more, where there is poverty, where people can't necessarily get something like a vegetable garden off the ground. So there will certainly be interaction and working relationships with communities where these offender projects will be run. As you said there, it could take away business elsewhere, but the idea is to work in conjunction with communities that cannot necessarily fend for itself and provide and support them with what offenders are doing here. And the Minister also told us that is their way of giving back in paying their debt to society in helping with projects like this.
So how does it work, Mariska? How do they determine which offenders to allocate to which programs?
Well, the Minister said to us it's offenders that are on different scales. Of course, those that are in for more serious crimes will not necessarily be immediately eligible for projects like this, but certainly they want to give all offenders an opportunity to rehabilitate, whether it is by schooling or by working outside. One of the people we spoke to a little bit earlier got a sentence of over 18 years, and they're 8 years into their sentence, and they've been granted this opportunity now to be part of this project. So it could take some time for certain offenders to become part of the project, and it will of course depend on the kind of offence they committed, which will determine where and how they will be involved in projects like this. Because the Minister also told us it's very important that communities buy into this so that there's a better relationship between offenders and communities, so that there's more acceptance for offenders when they are eventually released from prison and have served their sentences. So it's very, very crucial that that's a delicate process and that it's managed very, very well. So it could take longer for certain offenders to become part of projects, and for others they could get sooner be involved in projects like this.
I know you say you spoke to one farmer, but just generally, have you been able to have access to the offenders? How are they feeling about this?
Absolutely, yes. Actually, my colleague Tanya Krause spent quite some time this morning in the classrooms here speaking to a number of offenders, and there's definitely a sense of pride, especially for those who were involved in constructing this Kuyasa Combined Learning Centre. There's definitely a sense of pride, and that is also part of what Minister Lamola told us, that they do want to instill that in people. You're not just an offender, you're also a person, and this helps to give them some dignity back as well, and putting them on the path to become fully rehabilitated. But definitely people are very excited here. The offenders here that are in school this morning, very excited. They couldn't wait for the SABC's cameras to come, and they were very, very willing to speak to my colleague and to tell her about their experience, and that they actually enjoy being in classrooms learning. Because for many offenders who end up in the prison system, there was never these kinds of opportunities, and now for the first time they have access to proper schooling, for example. So definitely it's a sense of pride, and for many it's a sense of bettering themselves, and some are making full use of the opportunities that are granted to them as part of these projects.
Well, the name of the project, Kuyasa, definitely gives one a sense of some of the exciting work happening there, a new dawn it means. Thank you so much, Mariska Botha.